can speak with relative confidence and relative safety. Let's work to celebrate free speech. Let's work to celebrate supporting each other in being good speakers. Part number 2, Lindsay, would you come to the front of the room with your camera? We're going to take a picture of everybody. Will the people at this end stand up and come with me? Robert, Mary Alice, Pete, and Peter Ash back here. And everybody else, you can either, this way, Robert, this way, Mary Alice, this way. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I'm going to get the red card, Robert. We're going to kneel down. And Lindsay, if you'll direct us from this point.
Take a knee.
Oh.
Colin Kaepernick, take a knee.
Please direct us as to who's visible and who's not. Is anybody blocked? Is every face smiling?
Are you going to lay across the floor?
Me?
No, I'm over here. That works too.
Rod in our arms.
Well, actually, if you want to
Awkward
I'll
picture of a
that
picture.
part.
Well, you'll take this
Timer
part.
on.
Taking session.
10 seconds? Like, everyone? Okay. Hang on 1 second. 10,
Yeah.
7.
Round of applause for the
There's gonna be no one
camera.
in the, there's no one gonna be no one in the front of the picture.
Round of applause for Toastmasters.
How we did it.
Thank you, everybody. That was a great use of presidency.
That's what it says, take a picture of taking a picture. There will be nobody really in the video for that one. That's just
Mr.
the,
Toastmaster.
was outside
I
laughing.
should,
Somebody I don't know.
oh.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Rob.
right?
So let me turn things over to Peter Ash, the grammarian, but before he comes up, I just wanted to read what he sent me about remembering history. Living in the U.S., specifically in Chicago in 1968, suffered through the assassinations of RFK, MLK, the MLK riots, and the tragedy of the Democratic National Convention, not to mention the Vietnam War, and now Trump. I've had enough history to last me a lifetime. Thank you. Peter Ash.
As grammarian, one of my jobs is to count ums, ahs, and filler words that we use, and to look for mistakes in grammar, and also to give you a word of the day. To find the word of the day, I went to my podcast and looked at This American Life, podcast number 644, called Random Acts of History. One of the first stories there is about the director of Schindler's List, who was who?
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
And he was addressing a group of black students about his movie, and one of them said, "Have you ever considered doing something about the Black Holocaust?" So the word of the day is Holocaust, Holocaust, a destruction or slaughter on a mass scale, especially that caused by fire. A Holocaust is usually a series of atrocities organized by one social group against another. When we say the Holocaust, we're referring often to the Hebrew word is Shoah, the extermination of 6 million Jews between 1941 and 45. But it also, there is a Black Holocaust where millions of blacks were enslaved and died as a result during a period of 400 years here. And It didn't end with the Civil War, as we heard just now from Pete Boydell.
Actually, one of the
By fire
alternative
destruction
names
by
for the
fire.
Tulsa race riot, I think, if I remember right, when I looked it up, was the Tulsa Holocaust. So let me turn things over to Chris Bassett for the thought joke. Before I
Mississippi
do
Burn.
that, I will read his note about history, and this is very, what the right word is, I'll let you judge. One of the most memorable events in history for me was September 11th, 2001, when the World Trade Center was attacked. My mom flew out of Logan on a flight to California that morning. So my family had quite a scare, I bet you did, that she might have been on one of the flights that crashed into the Twin Towers. Luckily, it was a different flight, and she was safe, but I'll never forget that day and the impact it had on our country and my family.
Get closer.
Chris.
A married couple had 2 little boys, ages 8 and 10, who were excessively mischievous. They were always getting into trouble, and their parents knew that if there was any mischief in town, their boys were probably involved. The boy's mother heard that a clergyman in town had been successful in disciplining children, so she asked if he would be willing to speak with her boys. The clergyman agreed, but asked to see them individually. So the mother sent her 8-year-old first in the morning, with the older boy to see the clergyman in the afternoon. The clergyman, a huge man with a booming voice, sat the younger boy down and asked him sternly, "Where is God?" The boy's mouth dropped open, but he made no response, and sat there wide-eyed. So the clergyman repeated the question in an even sterner tone. "Where is God?" Again, the boy made no attempt to answer. So the clergyman raised his voice even more and shook his finger in the boy's face and bellowed, "Where is God?" The boy screamed and bolted from the room, ran directly home, dove into his closet, and slammed the door behind him. When his older brother found him in the closet, he asked, "What happened?" The younger brother, gasping for breath, replied, "We're in big trouble this time, dude. God is missing, and they think we did it."
Thank you, Chris. That was terrific.
That's like a reenactment.
So next up will be Brian Dooley to give speech number 1. But before he comes up, Brendan is going to do his do the objectives.
Well, I only got a very.
And before you do that, let me read what you said about history.
Oh, okay.
From Brendan, the historical evolution of the political parties, some that no longer exist in their original forms, were the Federalists like George Washington and James Madison, and the National Republicans led by John Quincy Adams. 21st century Democrats resemble 19th century Republicans, and 21st century Republicans resemble 19th century Whigs. Got to keep that straight. Brendan.
I learned something myself when I put that together. Anyway, I don't have any. I just have a general goals that Brian has says to be clear, engaging, and stimulating. And he's going to conduct a demonstration of some sort.
An exercise.
An exercise. I'm sorry, an exercise for the group. So I would do what he asked for. Is it clear? Is it engaging and stimulating? And then I'll comment on general speech comments like delivery. Does he have a clear purpose? All those sorts of things.
Thank you, Brendan. So let me introduce Brian, and as he comes up, let me read what he said about history. A piece of